pioneer of the Gulf Coast wine scene and award-winning food entrepreneur.
I know a lot of you wonder what to do with your moon pies, so I've got some wine suggestions for you. Lemon moon pies, Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin Blanc, or Pinot Grigio.
Stuart Reb Donald, acclaimed food and travel writer and world-class chef.
I was the chef de casserole. I made the casserole for the frozen food department.
For more than a decade, they've combined their expertise to answer your questions and introduce you to the culinary movers and shakers you want or ought to know. 4-time Taste Award finalists, 10-time Nappy Award losers. They are the dynamic duo of dining.
Drop, people screaming for more.
Mike and Stu
Screaming for
on
more.
FM Talk 106.5.
Yeah, drink that wine. Mr. King, your casserole. Duget.
Chef de casserole.
Chef de casserole. Hey, welcome to the Sip and Chew Show. I'm Mike. I'm the sip part of the Sip and Chew, and Stu
I'm
is the
Stu.
chew part. Is the chew part in the Chef de casserole. Anyway, here we are. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful Sunday today.
Gonna be hot.
That's okay. I'm better than rainy and wet and humid. I'd rather be sunshiny and humid.
Depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. If you're napping, give me the rain.
Mhm.
If you're sitting on a screened-in porch where you don't have to be out in the sunlight, give me that rain.
Yeah.
But
But if it rains, I'll take
but
a
if you're
nap.
going, but if you're going to the Delta, need some sunshine.
There you go. There you go. You know, speaking of the Delta, they had the wooden boat show there yesterday, and I forgot all about it. And I had several friends in it.
Where was it?
It was there. I can't remember if it was at Five Rivers or if it was at the Bluegill on
Okay.
the side over there.
Okay, back on the
But-
canal there.
I started seeing all the pictures of the boats. I said, God Almighty, I forgot all about it. They were stouter builds, and
Yeah.
so they were beautiful. I have some friends that restore them and enter them in competition.
When I went to Eco Wild the week before at the convention center, they had a 1962 wooden ski boat.
Wow.
That was just gorgeous.
I happened to be up in Hammondsport, New York, in the Finger Lake region. We went up there to pick up some wine to bring back because it was going to take too long. It'd be too expensive to have it shipped from there. So we said, well, it was a holiday weekend. I said, let's just go, let's take our time, go get it, bring it back. There happened to be a wooden boat show. There was stouter built. there were
I got
Chris
Scrap Boats in New York.
Crafts
Yeah.
and those beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
boats up there.
Was another
Mahogany
one.
boat.
Foxcraft, I think, is another one.
I used to have a 1936 Chris Craft barrelback. Never did restore it. I sold it to somebody.
Really?
But I had the full intent. I had intentions, good
Yeah.
intentions.
You are full
I just
of good
didn't have the
intentions, my
money.
friend. You are full
I
of
didn't
good
have the
intentions.
money.
And
Anyway.
quite often bacon, too. You're full of bacon.
That. And this morning I'm full of build your own omelet from Bob's Downtown Diner. It was so good. So good. I had spinach. I feel like Popeye. I had so much spinach in it. So
I tell you, I discovered this at the Cornhusker Hotel in Lincoln, Nebraska. An egg white omelet with spinach or arugula in it, some sun-dried tomatoes and
Yeah.
goat cheese is phenomenal.
I bet.
It's really good because everything else that they put in it has so much flavor.
Yeah.
And that's how you do that when you're trimming your fat and your calories. Get things that have a lot of strong flavor. And sun-dried tomatoes have a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
Goat cheese or feta if you prefer. If the goat cheese is a little too goaty for you, some good salty feta. And honestly, the low-fat feta, I really like.
They're doing an amazing job with some of the low fat or no calorie stuff. But they do have a white omelet, white
Egg white omelet.
egg
yeah.
white omelet at Bob's. It's an option.
Yeah.
And I started to do that, but
Or sauteed mushrooms in it. It's always good.
well, I had mushrooms, I had feta, I had spinach, I had bell peppers, onions,
Yeah.
and all that in it,
Yeah.
and maybe some kind of good meat in there. But,
Yeah. Like
But
you had patty sausage, smoked sausage, bacon.
no, I didn't have that.
And then you said, do you have turkey ham?
Hmm.
Which, by the way, is quite good.
Okay.
Have you ever had the turkey ham before?
Mm-mm.
Tastes like ham.
Well,
Because they're using the
what's
leg and
turkey?
the thigh.
What's turkey pork belly taste like, or turkey belly taste like?
Turkey breast. Yeah, they're a different type of animals. They
I
don't
know.
have the belly. But you can, I have seen Iron Chef Cat Cora make bacon with lamb belly before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
because there's a good deal of fatty. Because the lamb is, as
Mhm.
we said on our very first show, babies are delicious, and lamb is a
You're
young
upset.
sheep, so there's a little bit of the baby fat still on there.
Well, look at deal. Yeah.
Yeah, bacon is beef bacon is very good, but it tends to be.
I was
a
about to
little
ask
too-
you.
but it is delicious.
I was going to ask you your thoughts on the beef bacon.
I like it a lot.
Beef belly. I've heard of beef belly.
Yeah,
And
but those animals, I'm trying to remember the name. I think it's called like ruminant because they roam. It's four-legged animals. It's your pig, your cow, deer would fall under that as well, lamb. Those are the only animals where the muscle tissue is called meat.
okay.
Fish does not have meat on its bones. Chicken does not have meat on its bones. It has poultry. Meat is cow, pig, lamb, venison. 4 legs, warm-blooded, walking around. You don't call their flesh meat on anything else. Chicken doesn't have a lot of meat on the bones. It has a lot of poultry on the bones. Simple as that. The other place that you would call something meat is the inside of a nut.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's inside the shell is called the meat.
Yeah.
Well, there are lots of words that we routinely misuse every day.
Yeah.
Hibachi
I
is
do.
one that we covered when Charlie was in here. Those Japanese grills where they do the volcano on the onions, that's not a hibachi. That's a teppanyaki. A hibachi is a small cast iron grill that you fill with charcoal and cook meat on.
Well, I know when we were all young and single and we moved into our first apartments, hibachi grills were very popular
They're
to
terrific.
put on our balcony. It
Yeah.
required very little coal or charcoal,
Yeah,
and it didn't
and would
make up a
burn
lot
the
of
apartment complex down just as fast as the regular apartment.
as well. Yeah, especially that vinyl siding on the side. It melt. Get to the interior of the walls, and there she goes.
Yeah.
That's where they put firewalls.
Yeah. Well, man, I got to tell you,
Well,
I have waited my entire life to see an aurora borealis. It's something I have always wanted to see. My father was lucky enough to see one when he was stationed in Washington State. One winter, it traveled down enough you could see it Spokane, Seattle, in that area. And when we went to North Dakota a few years ago, I was hoping we're 60 miles from the Canadian border. Yeah, sometimes they get them. Didn't see them. We had 2 nights of it in Alabama, and I didn't see a bit.
Yeah.
And is that the first aurora borealis in Alabama in what, 1,000 years?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll have to wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Been waiting a long time.
Yeah, but I did see someone go, man, global warming is causing so many things. Interesting fact. The aurora borealis is not caused by global warming. It's caused by solar flares on the sun. And those solar flares cause more global warming than anything else. That has been the main cause of climate change throughout Earth's history, including today, this period that we're going through now. It's solar activity more than anything else. This has been the most active 50 years of solar activity since we began tracking it.
They need to outlaw solar flares.
Yeah, no, that's now anything that we can do to cut down
Pass a bill.
on that. But I mean, we're going to be having climate change just like we're seeing right now if we never had the first automobile that ran off gas.
We need to call somebody.
Now, does it mean that the gasoline isn't still affecting it? Stuff like that. But it's kind of like a helicopter weighs, 5 tons.
How does it?
Landed on an aircraft carrier that weighs 100 tons.
Mhm.
The aircraft carrier weighs 5 tons more, but can you tell? No, because the aircraft carrier weighs like 150 tons.
How does that affect our food supply?
Drought.
Yeah.
I mean, it tremendous. The wine industry. Warmer climate is not good for certain grapes. It's better for some grapes.
Well, I know that they're in England. They're starting to grow champagne-worthy grapes there, like Chardonnay and the Pinot Noir that will make champagne.
Right.
Because Steve Spurrier, who's the one who all behind the movie Bottle Shock, and he was a big critic of wine out of England.
Is this the same Steve Spurrier that
No.
won the Heisman Trophy?
This one has a British accent.
Okay. So it's not the cool one.
All right. 251-343-0106 is the Callahan Irish Social Club text and call-in line. We'd love to hear from you this morning.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about stuff.
Stuff. We got nothing to talk about, so we're gonna
Well,
talk.
we got stuff.
For more than 50 years, Mobile Bay Magazine has showcased the history, style,
So you
arts,
find this
dining,
on
and
that lady.
entertainment that defines excellence on both sides of Mobile
Her
Bay.
head on a
Each
pole.
month's issue is filled with our unique Southern Alabama culture, beautifully captured and told through engaging articles
Use
and
your
stunning
phone,
photography.
buddy.
When
It
you
is
subscribe to
neat.
Mobile Bay Magazine, you'll be
apparently
swept
not.
into the
It
pages
doesn't
where
stop it
recipes,
from
familiar
force-
places, and faces,
from
and
video.
untold stories
That
abound.
was us.
Start your journey today by visiting mobilebaymag.com. That's
Hey man, you joining that class action
mobilebaymag.com.
suit?
Which one?
If you or someone you know is
It's a
struggling with
$25 million
addiction, please call this toll-free
suit in
number
his
right now,
iPhone. Anyone had an iPhone 7 or 7 Plus
800-410-4036. That's
qualified.
800-410-4036.
I
Calling
don't
your
never know
addiction
what I
team. You're taking the first steps to recovery. Don't fight
Yeah,
addiction
there's a
alone.
lot.
All
Your
Alabama.
advisors are ready
Well,
to take your
there's a
call.
lot
Your
of
future is
pictures
still
on
in
the
the
bay.
right place. The help you need could
And
be
last Saturday
one
when I
call away.
left,
800
the wine bar, there was 100 cars on the
410-4036.
causeway,
That's 800-410-4036.
but no one ever
This
saw it
call
because
is
it's too cloudy.
completely confidential, and if you have private insurance, there could be little to no cost to you. Even if you've already been to treatment, give us a call. There is no need to let addiction ruin your life. Take the first step now. Call your addiction team at 800-410-4036. That's 800-410-4036. Make the free call now. 800-410-4036. Your addiction team
What'd
is
you
a
say?
third-party
I can
advertiser
sit
for
in that
various
one.
treatment centers
Oh.
and placement networks. Individual results will vary. Visit youraddictionteam.com/terms for more information.
Severe flooding from recent hurricanes and other storms has left hundreds of thousands of cars, trucks, and other vehicles unsafe to drive. Flooded vehicles are supposed to be dismantled for usable parts or crushed for scrap, and a flood title should be issued to that car. But some shady dealers will buy a flooded vehicle, clean it up, and get it retitled with no indication it was flooded. Or uninsured cars will be cleaned up by the owner and sold online, also with no warning to the buyer. If the price is too good to be true, it probably is. Make sure to check for flood damage and have a qualified mechanic inspect the vehicle before you write a check. The free VIN check service from the National Insurance Crime Bureau is a good place to start. Head over to nicb.org to check it out.
To report fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB. This is a public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Hello again, friends. I'm Randy Bergen, inviting you to join me, Coach Rick Cleveland, and Coach Mark Lassiter for the Thompson Tractors Prep Sports Report. We'll be coming to you live from the Easter Shore Toyota Hyundai Studios for 2 hours beginning at 8 a.m. every Saturday morning. We'll visit with coaches, athletes, administrators, and more as we'll keep you up to date on all things prep along the Gulf Coast and the state of Alabama. Wake up with the Prep Sports Report team this Saturday morning starting at 8 a.m. right here on FM Talk 106.5.
To get on the line, call 343-0106. Now back to Mike and Stu.
Alrighty, we're back. So as mentioned earlier, I went to Bob's Downtown Diner on the corner of Fat Happy.
Okay,
And had
cool.
a build your own omelet.
Mhm.
So if you can do that there. You can
Yep.
build almost anything
You
you
might
want
have
to.
it full of vegetables, which is always, it's a
Full of
good way
vegetables.
if you're trying to eat healthier.
Mm-hmm.
We need to lose this whole thought that it just means low calorie, low fat, because
Yeah.
there are lots of things that are low calorie, low fat that are not good for you. Salmonella, for instance, low calorie, low fat. Ebola.
That's not pronounced. It's salmonella. Instead of salmonella.
Salmonella. He played tight end for the Bears, did he? Ebola.
Ebola.
Yeah, Ebola virus, low fat, low calorie.
Didn't he used to call games for Alabama?
Then he was fired for being old.
Wow. Oh, that hurt.
And
Yeah, I can
add
imagine.
more vegetables to what you're eating,
Mhm.
and it will make it more filling, and you get the vitamins, nutrients, and everything you do. It's so much easier since I learned that, because I used to be, my ideal pizza is a layer of pepperoni, a layer of cheese on top, another layer of pepperoni, double pepperoni, at least 100 slices.
Mhm.
Wow.
But I can sparsely put the pepperoni on there and load it up with vegetables and enjoy the pizza just as much. And it's the pepperoni and the sausage you put on pizza that makes it unhealthy. A slice of cheese pizzas,
But
Not
it
a bad
sure makes it taste so.
but so do all those wonderful vegetables.
Well, it's combined. I
Yeah,
love
Get a
onions
good
and
char on
peppers.
the onions on there, and the mushrooms are a must.
Oh, pineapple. Oh my God, I love pineapple on my pizza.
Well, you do have to be careful with that. Not only, is it gross, but pineapple has more sugar than any other fruit.
Okay.
So you have to back off on pineapple.
No, you don't.
It's even more sugary than bananas. And keep in mind, fruit, very good for you, but very high in natural sugar, called fructose, which is better for you than cane sugar. Yeah. But still, it's a lot of sugar. And that's why if you buy a bottle of fruit juices, you're supposed to water them down when you drink them. You shouldn't, especially for kids, should be a mix of half fruit juice, half water, because it's way too much sugar.
I know in France and Italy, they do serve kids wine, or they used to.
Well, yeah.
They cut it in half with water.
Yeah.
So, but let's go back to vegetables. How come romaine lettuce has they have so many recalls on something like romaine lettuce?
Well, it's not just romaine lettuce. Here's the deal. It is a huge part of this giant food system that we need to address in just a minute when we get our other sponsors out of the way.
Oh yeah,
because it's long and
but getting back to Bob's Downtown Diner.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of would have made my omelet better, and it was hard to make it better. Maybe it's the real Hall's sausage, smoked Cajun sausage.
Yeah, or the andouille.
Or the andouille.
Hall's sausage and wholesale meats there.
Yeah.
Chickasaw.
Yeah, I helped Deborah out the other night. We were introducing my hot honey. BB's hot honey there the other night. Cammy at Old Dutch Ice Cream liked it, and so did Billy Stead, which is doing the motorcycle ride today to raise cancer for awareness, to raise money for prostate cancer awareness, which everybody should be checking out. I go later next month and have mine checked out.
Dr. Jellyfinger.
There you go. And then we want to certainly thank Hall Sausage Meats. Also, we want to thank Butch Cassidy's on the corner of Florida and O'Shell, which we finally call a Flow-Shell.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so here's the thing with the recalls you get on lettuce. Cilantro is a big one. These are all green things that grow on the ground.
They could recall cilantro if they want to.
But these are all green things that grow on the ground. We've had spinach recalls. We've had arugula recalls. The ground that they're using has in it fertilizer that comes from the cattle that we raise. The problem with that, and this is where this whole food system is so screwed up, is when they began genetically modifying corn, the way that they genetically modified it, they got the modification into it on a genetic level, into the cells of the corn, was to piggyback it onto a bacteria that can naturally permeate it. And the bacteria they chose at the time was this rarely encountered bacteria called E. coli. And so they've injected our corn with E. coli so that the corn is more resistant to Roundup weed killer. They then feed that corn to cattle. Cows cannot digest corn. They're grass eaters. And they have 4 stomachs. And those stomachs will process all the grass they eat in a day in a number of hours. It goes in, it goes out. Good fertilizer there. Well, corn takes 4 days to break down.
Wow.
In the cow's stomachs.
One stomach a day, right?
Well, no. It's all 4 of them are going at one time. Okay. And it takes 4 days for the corn to get broken down so that they can get rid of it. And the best breeding ground on earth for E. coli is the stomach of a cow. So when they process it, the poop is now super saturated with E. coli, way more than we ever would have encountered in the natural world.
Yeah.
Like thousands of times more E. coli in that manure than would be if it was just a cow eating grass. They then take that manure and they use that as fertilizer for lettuce, spinach, all of these things that grow green. It has a lot of E. coli in it. Now they try and irradiate it, which is where they hit it with radiation, basically. Yeah. And that will kill the E. coli and any other bacteria that's growing in it. But sometimes people take shortcuts. It's cheaper to skip that.
Yeah.
And that is why we keep getting these recalls, is because we are doing the right thing. We're using this poop instead of letting it pile up. we're using it as fertilizer.
Right.
But what we're feeding the cattle is making that poop more problematic than it should be for
So
human diet.
when you hear the term grass-fed,
Yeah.
that's important.
It's very important.
If you're shopping for meat,
for
you wanna-
cattle especially.
yeah,
Ruminant, we were talking about ruminants earlier.
Yeah.
They are grass eaters.
Mhm.
They graze. And grass is what cattle should eat. Now, when they feed it corn, we get this delicious, tender meat.
yeah,
I mean, there's no denying it. The best combination is grass-fed, corn-finished, which means it spent its entire life eating grass, and the last 6 months before going to market is when it got the corn to fatten it up and to give it to market. That's way better than a cow that's eating corn its entire life. And when you think about chickens, they go from egg to market in 6 weeks.
yeah.
Pigs go from birth to market in 6 months. Cattle goes from birth to market in 3 years. It's actually the cleanest of those 3 meats to eat if you're looking to avoid chemical contamination. Chicken is the worst.
I noticed too, I've been told too, in my travels in the wine business, you see when they get through pressing the grapes,
Right.
and after the juice is set on the leaves and the skins and set in the vats, when they drain and they squeeze that to get every bit of the juice out of that's stuck between the skins and all that out with the seeds and all that, they have a pile of it and they feed that to farm animals. Same thing with barley, wheat. When they make beer, they feed that to animals. How's that? How would you think that is different than the corn?
It's going to depend on the animal. Isn't it something that the animal because honestly, you shouldn't be feeding the animals anything that they wouldn't have eaten in the wild.
Absolutely.
That's going to be the purest meat you can find.
Well, I know chickens and turkeys especially, they love grapes.
Yeah.
And wild boar, pigs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And, the biggest thing that's happened, because, we used to grow up with this fear of, was it trichinosis from pork that wasn't cooked all the way? And the best thing that we've done to eliminate that, because there hasn't been a report of it in like 40 years, we quit feeding our pigs slop. Slop is what causes trichinosis. Now we feed them grains.
Yeah.
And whole foods and things that we control. And trichinosis is not an issue. You can now have your pork cooked at 150 degrees Fahrenheit is good enough, which is medium. There's no danger from eating a medium pork chop. And it comes from a medium pork chop you don't get from a well done one? Flavor. Yeah. Because those well done pork chops.
How I cook mine. Maybe just a slight bit over medium.
Yeah.
Right in that range.
But I used to hate pork chops as a kid because my mom cooked them until they were dry. If it went like jerky, my dad wasn't going to eat it.
Yeah.
Because, they fed their pig slops growing up on the farm and you had to cook it like that or you're going to get sick.
My dad liked his steaks and stuff well done, like beef jerky. And I'm thinking, why didn't you just
get some beef jerky?
I had to. You
could have made them.
Go out on a date to a restaurant to eat a real steak that tastes delicious. What like beef jerky?
And I always have people who go, well done is burnt. They're the same thing. Like, no. If you cook it right, it'll still be juicy. No, it won't. You think it's juicy because you don't have anything to compare it to. You eat a medium steak and then eat a well done one cooked as good as a well done steak can be, and you're going to go, okay, I get it now. This is dry. It is dry. It is burnt.
That's one of the big arguments in the world. But people, 251-343-0106 is the Callahan's Irish Social Club text and call-in line.
When we come back, we talking about Carla Hall favorite chef contest.
Yes.
FM Talk 106.5, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority,
So-
and Dr. Bill Williams.
So, how was your trip?
Today with
I didn't know you were in this
long,
Long.
20 hours up, 20 hours back. Slept
Monday,
It's
sunny,
Friday,
highs around
Saturday
90
morning,
degrees.
3 or 4
This is
hours.
meteorologist Dr.
few,
Bill Williams
rest
for
day outside
FM
few
Talk 106.5.
Minute.
FM
And
Talk
then,
106.5, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority.
I'm sure as it were at the hotel, got her in the hotel.
That's right.
You voted for all of
And
your
around
favorite
four-ish
parks, restaurants, bands,
Saturday
media folks,
afternoon,
politicos, and
hour
just
later,
about everything else under the sun during the nomination period. The
I
FANYAP's
was
22nd
on
Annual
the
Reader's
road just
Choice
on
Awards.
this,
We've been
last week,
counting and
until
counting,
about
and now the counting is done. And now through May
4,
26th, we need you
2:34
to head on
o'clock,
over to
back on the wheel,
votenappies.com and start voting again to help us determine the best of the best in such exciting
Chicago
categories as smart
one day.
essential mobility and multimedia.
I drove to Chicago one day.
Dog,
Frankfurt.
a highly coveted
Yeah, it's fine. A lot better.
Yeah.
Driving, too.
Iowa is interesting because the farmland is kind of
And of course, you'll find all of the
Uh,
usual.
most of the road I saw through was all my,
Commentary,
so I'm from the state of the Midwest and everything. I haven't been that far north in Minnesota. It's, and the only thing, and
Now, when I went-
about the town she went to, apparently, that's where Fargo was based.
Fargo's a cool town.
In every
Stop
corner
there
of
on our
the
way
state,
back from
offer men
Minot.
and
Would
women
love to go
dollar
back to
stores,
Fargo.
fueling the state's economy and building healthier, more prosperous communities. We partner with local leaders to
Carla is what I said.
and create
Carla.
access to opportunities that benefit all.
Carla,
To
not
learn how
Carla.
Auburn's at work.
My
in your
experience in
community,
Minnesota
visit
was driving in a blizzard with
Auburn.tv/cross
brakes going out on my
Alabama.
truck.
This message is sponsored by Auburn
Yeah,
University.
no, I've been
the
to
Alabama
Minnesota.
But we did go to Cole.
Well, in the snow and ice, you don't need brakes.
Every Monday at 7, Producer presents Sweet Home Cannabama.
They ain't gonna do
Brought
no
to you
good.
by Cannabama in downtown Mobile, Alabama's first cannabis retailer. Answering your questions with accurate information and dispelling the myths of cannabis with guests from every corner of the cannabis industry. Check Cannabama.com and
I'll do a
email comments
segue
to
into you.
info@Cannabama.com.
What'd you call me?
And join
Segue.
Producer Mondays at 7 p.m. for
I'll
Sweet Home
segue it with you.
Cannabama
All right.
on FM Talk
Well, now.
106.5. Mike Bailey, Stuart Rebs Donald, devoted to the complete gastronomic experience.
I want a big butter and egg man.
Mike and Stu on FM Talk 106.5.
Hey, Stu,
Hey, buddy.
I heard something about you.
It's probably true.
I heard you're trying to get too big for your britches
Yeah.
and do something big.
Great big.
Great big old big.
Yeah.
What is it?
I have been one of the people selected. We've talked about it before. Legendary Nashville chef Carla Hall sponsors this contest every year called Next Favorite Chef.
Huh?
She co-sponsors it with the James Beard Organization.
The
The entire event is actually a fundraiser for a number of the charities that the James Beard Organization spearheads. So the contestants, as I am one of them, each of us have a dashboard that you can go to and look at our profile, read about us, look at some pictures of our food, and, vote on who you would like to see more of. But you can only vote once a day, unless you want to spend some money.
Yeah.
And what this would probably be is corporate sponsors or something like that. And they can vote as many times as they want. And that money that you contribute goes to these charities that this whole event is put together to fund. And they're feeding the poor, school students. It's all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Things to help restaurant employees who are in a bind or something like that. It's a bunch of really good charities. They're all managed and sponsored by the James Beard Organization.
Cool.
But one chef will be chosen from popular vote, and they will get a 2-page spread in, I believe it's Home and Taste magazine. They will get to go up to Nashville and hang out with Carla Hall for a day and cook in a kitchen up there, shoot some videos, stuff like that. And a little walking around change, $25,000.
That'd do me a day.
Yeah, and then Carla will also pick a handful of chefs that are independent of the public voting that she would like to work with, and they'll do some things with that too. I don't know all the details what that involves. Is it a day that you cook with her? Is it plating? She's really big on plating.
Yeah.
So a lot of these are just going to be seminars on plating, but voting starts tomorrow, Monday.
Tomorrow.
At oddly 3 o'clock Central Time. The times they give it starts at 1 o'clock Pacific Time.
AM or PM?
PM.
Okay.
Starts in the afternoon. It'll run for 10 days to whittle it down to a top 20. So from the 20th to the 30th, you can vote every day. More than every day if, you contribute to the charities or live in Chicago and are dead. You can vote as many times as you want. But that
Wake up, dead people.
from the 20th to the 30th, they accumulate all the voting. They establish the top 20. Everybody else gets a thank you letter. Then they reset the voting again on the 30th, and it starts again to whittle it down to 15.
So tomorrow,
Tomorrow,
while you at 3 o'clock,
3 o'clock.
do your voting.
Yep.
And while you're at it, vote for Sip and Chew with Mike and Stu in the Nappy Awards. You still got time for that, another week.
I didn't know.
To vote us for best DJs, because we're donut junkies.
And the other thing that we're up for, and this is the category that we actually exemplify.
Mhm.
Now, there are other fine people in this category, many of them on this station. It's a lifestyle program, which is
Yeah.
what we are.
We are.
We don't, Mike has wanted to win this nappy so badly. We told him, we're never going to win with a niche show on 1 hour on Sundays going against these other shows that are on 5 days a week.
But we keep getting on.
But which is perfect. That's what we need.
Mhm.
But now they've invented a category that we actually exemplify, and that's lifestyle programming. But we're up against our buddy Bill Finch,
Yeah.
Annie Lipford. I mean, there's a lot of people that we're up against
Mhm.
that are all fine shows.
Yeah.
But this category, at some point, we should win this book.
They ought to create another category just for us. Susan Lucci. I think we win it without even there being one. If we got a James Beard nomination, we'd do the same thing.
Yeah, but the
Just like the taste
but
award.
the Carla Hall Favorite Chef Award, the contest is and again, I thank Mike because he's the one that pestered me to
I did.
fill it out.
You've been lazy. Like,
I've been busy.
oh,
Is what I've been. But you know what? I have eliminated a whole lot of stress from my life in the last.
good for you.
I got moved out of Box Out, and they're still digging at it. You know, the other vendors in there, they had a source of income other than
Yeah.
their Box Out
Yeah.
pods. They all have food trucks that they take to catering. I know Las Catrachas, you'll find them at Sage Avenue if you ever want to try them on the soccer games on Saturday nights.
Mhm.
They make good money there. Smack Shack, Olivia
I
has
just like that name.
her catering.
I just
Yeah.
like that name. Smash.
Okay, now Smack no longer owns Smack Shack.
Okay.
He owns Box Out. He sold Smack Shack to his general manager, Olivia. She now runs it, all his recipes, everything. She's got a food truck. And then, of course, Dee, Carnival Leads, Dee's got like a dozen trucks across the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
Plus, he is the owner of that new steak and tater restaurant out on Cottage Hill.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's all the same group there. And so they had other source of incomes to prop that up while it's still struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
Yeah.
And so I did the
That's
wise
okay.
choice. And yeah,
That's okay.
and I know that with the success that I had, all the ratings on the food were just astronomical.
Yeah.
And constantly, and this is how I knew I was hitting on something. Constantly had people come up after the ate just to tell me, man, seriously, best mac and cheese I've ever had in my life. The concept worked.
Mhm.
The economy doesn't.
Yeah.
And I mean, even the other three vendors there have felt the strain of this economy and are wondering, am I going to be able to continue doing this?
Right.
And we're going into the summer months in downtown Mobile, the sales drop off
Oh,
even more than they have because
I've-
everybody's at the Gulf.
I've seen it in my job.
Right.
Yeah.
So, victim of bad timing. But the main thing is I'm not going to be sitting on my rocking chair 20 years from now going, I wish I had.
Absolutely.
I did.
Absolutely. No regret.
Yeah.
No
Right.
regret.
And
Regret is if you didn't do it.
right. There's a King Crimson.
Yeah.
Great band. Has this thing where it's an old man talking to his grandson. And the grandson goes, Grandpa, what's regret? He goes, funny thing about regret. It's better to regret something you did do than to regret something you didn't do.
Mhm.
So,
Believe in that wholeheartedly.
yeah. So
Wholeheartedly.
I gave it a try. Timing wasn't on my side. Ready to move on to the next thing. And if the Carla Hall thing works out, then, tables reset. Let's do something else.
I look at Colonel Sanders. I look at the gentleman that started McDonald's. Look at all the things they started and it failed at. I mean, Even Teflon was a failure. It was
Teflon.
supposed to be something else, but it
Yeah.
turned into that.
Yeah. Now it's
How'd they get to stick on a pan?
it's a bonding process, but you don't want Teflon anymore because
No, I don't.
you can't. If you have a Teflon coated pan, this is important to know. It's fine to use it, but do not heat it beyond medium heat.
Yeah.
The problem with it is it puts off free radicals and stuff like this. Children, pets, and elderly, that's us, Mike, will experience flu-like symptoms if you have a Teflon pan that you heat above medium temperature. There are other replacements out there that do the same thing as Teflon that don't have.
I use All-Clad, and it's not Teflon. It's
Right.
the way the pan's made.
The Gothic steel pans,
Yeah.
with the copper pans, those are really good
Mhm.
non-stick. An iron skillet properly seasoned,
Mhm.
So there are other ways to do it. One of the complaints I've always heard about iron skillets was, well, they're so heavy. Yeah, so's a tire when you have to change it.
Yeah.
But I mean, an iron skillet isn't so heavy you need someone to help you pick
You
it
ain't
up.
gonna be flipping an egg with an iron skillet.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to sit there and distribute the heat evenly.
And I'll tell you, and they're
Hopefully.
very expensive. The La Crusette
Mhm.
cookware that's out of France. It is cast iron with ceramic on the inside. Ceramic is an incredible nonstick surface. And it used to drive me nuts working in a restaurant with young kids, and you kept chili in a crock pot all day.
Mhm.
And like, oh man, I hate clean the chili off the inside of the crock pot. Why? It's ceramic.
Mhm.
Get it wet, let it sit 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It comes out. It's the easiest thing in the world to clean. So a ceramic coating on a pan, that's optimal.
Yeah.
That is because unlike Teflon and all the other nonstick surfaces, it still conducts heat evenly
Yeah.
across the pan. It's just as good as cast iron.
I really like my All-Clad stuff, and I bought it at Home Goods, and it's cheap. It's inexpensive. Usually All-Clad, other brands, other styles of All-Clad are expensive.
Yeah.
These are it looks like Teflon, but it's not.
Right.
And nothing sticks to it. And I can bring the heat up high, I can bring it low, and it doesn't warp, and it's easy to clean. And I use them every day, and it's just super good. We don't get paid or endorsed by them, but
we will. You want to send us some money? We'll talk about your junk. Mike, I've started trying this new supplement I was gifted with. And I'm going to pronounce the name, and I'm going to get it wrong because every video I've watched has been a doctor talking about it, and every one of them pronounces it different. Shilajit. 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 I've heard all different pronunciations. It's supposed to be good for testosterone, for energy, mood. You know what it is? It's freaking incredible, man. It seeps out of rocks in alpine places. Most notably, the Himalayas are where they harvest it. When the rocks get hot, this stuff oozes out of it that looks like tar. And what it is organic material that got wedged in between the layers of rocks over hundreds of years. It's basically leaves that are hundreds of years old that have been pressed inside of rocks, and they ooze out. And it looks and smells like tar, and you just dissolve it in some water about 2 or 3 times a day. And just the fact that I'm eating plant life that's hundreds of years old is just fascinating to me. Just fascinating. This is day one.
So it kind of looks like my lettuce sometimes at the bottom of my refrigerator after a couple of weeks. It looks kind of black and tarry looking sometimes. It's still in the bag. My lettuce lettuce is already dead, but it really comes to my house to die.
Get the living lettuce. No, seriously.
Yeah.
It's I think it's like Boston. It's a variant of Boston, but the root system is still on it. You keep a little bit of water in it, and it continues to stay alive until you eat it all up. As long as you keep that little bit of water on that root system, you will have live lettuce in your refrigerator. I've got a friend who hasn't bought lettuce in a couple of years. She got a head of romaine, cut it off, stuck the the part you normally chunk in some water, just grows her own lettuce all the time.
There you go.
Just keeps it up in the windowsill. Because that is a cool weather.
She doesn't need cow manure to fertilize. 251-343-0106 Callahan's Irish Social Club.
And manure line.
And let me tell you, a couple of months ago, I made an avocado bread. Squeeze some avocado cheese and eggs, made bread. Well, I had these avocado seeds, so I said, well, I'm going to stick them in a pot planter and see what they do. And I got avocado plants in that
Excellent.
So they
would say stick them out in your yard, but you don't have one.
Well, I was going to say, you won't. They grow 6 foot tall. I don't think mine are.
Talk about cookware.
Yeah.
This is what the stuff I got. And that little marker there, you get that much of this goo on there, and will into your drink.
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to watch the videos tomorrow. MCT.
You need help. That's why you need to call the National Recovery Center sooner than later. We can't help unless you're ready to be helped.
I was hoping Cookie would talk to us after she knows anything about it.
You need to want to stop the
She would
downward
get-
out of control spiral you've been on. You need to make a conscious effort and take control. Our programs are designed to provide you with the care and support you need.
There's all
Every
kinds of
person is
products
treated with a unique treatment plan designed specifically for you, regardless of what stage of addiction you're in. Don't let the pain of addiction ruin your life.
Is that what you're saying?
Call
Medium chain.
800-950-0248.
Oh, it's medium
Probably
chain
draft
fatty
glycerol.
Triglyceride. It's the same thing that falls in there with coconut oil, which is it's a medium chain fatty acid. Yeah, it's a medium chain fatty acid. It's why coconut milk is healthy. Yeah, but the problem with it is you can't heat it over 350 or you get it smoke point. But you can make homemade biscuits, leave out the shortening of bacon fat, and use coconut oil. Makes fantastic biscuits. Yeah, coconut is a wonderful source of medium chain fatty acid.
If you're a sportsman and love the great outdoors, you know how important it is to utilize the tips and tricks that really good fishermen and hunters know. That's why sportsman and writer, editor, and photographer John Felsher
Well,
is sharing
this
his
guy said
knowledge
don't
gathered from a lifetime of learning
Still
what
smoke
works
it,
and
so
what doesn't.
There's a new one out.
Outdoor Tips Daily on
It's like
FM Talk
$8 a
1065.
box.
You may become
There's
more
almost no
successful
sugar in it,
fishing
and it
and
tastes
hunting.
like there is.
Outdoor Tips with John Felsher
Like
on
healthy
FM Talk
spoonfuls of
1065.
The amount of money that costs and you don't get.
Oh, yeah. The most expensive food in Turkey is $4 or $5
Markets too.
Yeah.
On FM Talk 1065.
I'll play for gumbo. I used to make it. Look at here. Look at my shirt.
I can't.
Don't be rude. Just show me the gumbo.
And folks, when he says he's showing you his shirt,
Yeah.
that's because we broadcast this show live every week on Facebook, YouTube, and my Twitter account.
Yeah.
So you can always check it there. Go to our YouTube account, hit like, hit subscribe, because we're putting out content every week.
Absolutely.
In addition to the show content you don't get on our Facebook page with the series that Mike and I are doing of Off the Eaton Trail,
Mm-hmm.
and which Mike hasn't contributed to yet, but he will.
I'm busy.
I had a bunch of stuff backlogged, so that's what I've been using.
Absolutely.
And then my series, Ask the Chef,
Mm-hmm.
and then Mike is working on one. The biggest holdup to his wine thing is he can't come up with a clever name. So
That's
he's
my-
just
he's
not
my
doing it
favorite.
until he gets a clever name. He ain't doing jack
What about
squat.
Delta Safari?
Well, that's not on our channel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's its own channel.
I thought it was.
Yeah, this is all, no, man, that's on Delta Safari channel.
Okay.
No, this is all on the Sip and Chew channel on
Okay.
YouTube. You can catch this stuff. And you'll hear us talking about our sponsors as well, like Bob's Downtown Diner on the corner of Fat and Happy, where Mike stuffed himself this morning with a built-your-own omelet. He
was
built his with plenty of vegetables.
Good
probably,
stuff.
Probably a little bacon,
Mm,
an entire cheeseburger,
I
4
will
or
not
5 Philly
confirm or
cheesesteak
deny
sandwiches thrown into it.
there you go.
This omelet was the size of a spare tire.
yeah,
Yeah.
something close. Anyway,
And I also want to thank the good folks at Hall's
sausage and wholesale
Meat.
meats.
Mike, do you like any of their sausage at all?
My favorite is the Cajun smoked sausage.
It's a great
And
sausage.
I keep some in my freezer, and I keep backup in my freezer.
Yeah.
And then what I did, like tonight, I'm gonna have stewed cabbage or
Mm-hmm.
pan-fried cabbage in my all-clad pans, and I'm gonna slice up that
Cajun
Hall's
sausage.
Cajun smoked sausage, and put it in there.
Have you done the cabbage in an air fryer yet?
I like it better in my pan. I
Okay.
fried it in there. I want to do steaks.
We'll do Brussels sprouts.
I had Brussels sprouts last night.
Yeah, do them in the air fryer. They're really good.
Yeah,
And
had some last night in the air fryer.
yeah, we also want to thank Butch Cassidy's Cafe. They're in the heart of the Flow Shell Entertainment District.
It is entertaining there.
Yes, it is. And Roy and all the fine folks there at Butch Cassidy's do a good job.
Absolutely.
They've been getting beat up by all these graduations at the Mitchell Center.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's
They
okay.
need the monies.
Everybody does, and it helps the servers and employees with their economy.
There we
So
go.
we have a call, Steve.
Yeah, let's do some yakking about snacking.
Cookie, go ahead.
Well said, Cookie. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Let's try Paul.
Let's try Paul.
Paul, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great, y'all. I got a name for Mike Show he's looking for. Just call it the Wine and Dine with Mike Bailey.
Hey, that's not bad.
Wine and dine.
Mikey D.
I'm gonna
Well,
put
you,
that on my
you
list.
like you like comparing wines with food, man. So it's like your twin, you know.
Well, I have a list. I have a list of what things I'm gonna pair with. One of them's gonna be potato chips.
Yeah.
One of them's gonna be with just sandwiches.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, just different sandwiches. I'm talking about common.
I could go ahead and give you
sandwiches.
one right now.
What was that?
Chicken Parmesan, a nice Chianti. Seriously, that red sauce.
Bologna sandwich.
Well, see, that's one of my favorites.
Is it a fried bologna sandwich or are we going raw with the bologna? Because both are acceptable.
I like fried.
Yeah, do both.
Yeah.
Do both.
Oh, listen to this, man.
What?
One slice of fried, one slice of raw.
In the middle. In the
Yeah.
middle.
Yeah.
So Paul, what's your favorite wine?
Schlitz.
No, I am a bourbon guy,
Same.
and I like Yingling beer.
I love the
like
Yingling.
A sweet red. I like a sweet red.
Okay, like Reuniti.
No, not like Reuniti. Liberty makes a good sweet red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
But
You know about
believe it or not, I like White Zinfandel.
okay.
So Charlie.
You and Charlie are buddies. Y'all gotta be best friends.
Y'all can meet down at the Sizzler and have time, can't you?
Hey, drink you about 4 ounces, 4 or 6 ounces of that red hearty sweet wine that you like.
Right.
An hour before you go to bed, man, it builds your blood and
Yeah, the resveratrol in it is
yeah,
very good
help you
antioxidant.
sleep good. If you get leg shakes during the night, it'll calm that down. You'll have good
Oh,
dreams.
leg shake.
You'll have good dreams.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. We
Y'all have a
appreciate
great
we
day.
appreciate
Thank
you. David said I need to call it Watch Mike Wine. So would that be listen to Mike Wine? Oh, listen and watch. All right, we got Cookie on the line now. Is that who we got?
Yes.
Okay.
Cookie, you ask your question, then I'll ask you mine.
Doesn't matter.
Have you heard of this Shilajit this supplement that I'm trying out?
Heard of the what?
Shilajit or Shilajit. It is basically botanical matter that's hundreds of years old that has been pressed inside of rocks, and when the rocks get hard or hot, it oozes out like crude oil.
No, but I hope you eat it.
You drink it. You mix it in, yeah, you mix it into a liquid.
What can we do for you today? You there? Hello, Cookie.
I guess we lost. We'll
Keep trying. We'll keep
call
trying.
back next week, Cookie, and we'll address the situation, whatever it is.
That's
We'll
it.
take it head on what we might.
She was going to chop cookware, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't mind talking cookware again next week. And it's topics that people need, because we've said this before. People go, oh, I got a real good knife set. The whole set was like $100. Then you didn't get a good knife set.
Yeah. It's like wine. People think the more they spend on wine, the better the wine.
Well, $100 is not very much money on a knife set.
I understand that.
$100 is what you should pay for a knife.
Mm-hmm. And
if you get a good chef knife, whether it be the Japanese style, I like both, the traditional European or the Japanese, that one knife and that investment, you don't have to spend all the money on all the other things.
Okay. Steel forged or poured into a mold and.
Oh, no, I want that forged. See, that's the thing. The cheap knives are the ones, it's a stainless steel band, and they have a stamp that stamps out something in the shape of a blade, and then they put an edge on it. And that's your cheap stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not as good forged. And like my Santoka, it's funny. I have a Japanese style chef knife that's made in Europe. And I have a European style chef knife that's made in Japan. It's Damascus steel. It's beautiful Kaizen. But I have a Hinkle for my Santoka, and it is ice forged, which most forging, they pound the steel, they heat it up, they pound it out, they put it in water to cool it back down and start it all over again. Well, Hinkle is made, I believe, in Switzerland or Germany, and they just stick it right into an iceberg, basically.
Oh, wow.
They just have ice that they stick it into, which cools it down faster, makes that steel harder without making it brittle.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had that knife for 20 years.
Do you put your knives in the dishwasher?
Very rarely. Now, I'll do it about once a year. Just you don't want to do it with a wooden handle. What the problem is the drying process in the dishwasher on those wooden handles will make the wood shrink.
I know somebody used to scream at me all the time every time I put a knife in a dishwasher, and she's listening to us right now.
Yeah.
From Florida.
Yeah.
Hey, Claudia.
It's also a safety issue. The safest way to handle a knife is whoever's using it, walk over to that sink and hand wash it yourself. Don't ever throw a knife in the bottom of the sink. It is assault in the state of Alabama, because they make you watch a video when you work in restaurants that tells you don't ever do that.
All right, folks, we got to go. Get out there, support local, be local, buy local.
Oh, what else should they do, Mike? It's a hot day. How about they throw a bone? Well, I got to quit.
Look at my earphones on. There's a work hazard here. Take your earphones on.
Get worried. I'm trying to taste the metal. Stroke out over there, Mike.